Guys, how many of you out there have had a dream or had an identity and it died and there was no way to get it back? That happened to me when I was a kid. My junior and senior year of high school should have been the best years of my life. My whole identity was built around sports. And up to that point, we were winning championships. Baseball became my dream, my identity, my forte. And I started playing the best baseball of my life my junior year. I was in the gym every day. I worked hard. I was a hard worker. I had a growth spurt that year because I was always small as a kid. And everything started clicking. I started dropping bombs and I started seeing my future and I started really believing it. It was powerful. And then in a scrimmage one day, a runner accidentally run through my arm when I was trying to pick a ball, playing first, covering first on a bunt defense. And the runner went through my arm and my elbow snapped in half. It broke and dislocated it. To make things worse, the doctor accidentally pinched my ulnar nerve with the joint when he relocated it. That's your funny bone. And it swelled up like a tightrope. They had to fuse it to my forearm and they told me I would never get my extension back again. I had one more shot because it was still my junior year. I lost that whole season and I was devastated. And to make things worse, the doctor prescribed OxyContin. That was big in the late 90s and they were giving it to everybody. That destroyed my life. At the time, I just didn't realize it. I kept working for the dream that seemed like it was getting further and further away. I worked all the way back to my senior year. I got my extension back. I was back in the gym. I just had a secret addiction that no one knew about. But I was cool, right? My very first swing in batting practice my senior year, so much riding on this moment. And I tear my Laberman rotator cuff on my left shoulder end to end. Essentially ending my career, ending my dream, and destroying my identity that I built. Those next few years of my life would be the worst years ever. I lost my high school sweetheart. I made some terrible decisions. I disappeared from my family. I became a recluse. I went off to college, which I never really went. Dropped out halfway through my first semester. Joined a fraternity though, and started hanging around with some of the worst people I'd ever known. I'd never done drugs or drinking up to that point. I was an athlete, except for the drug, the prescription the doctor gave me. But now I was doing the worst things, hanging around the worst people, and I got in the worst trouble ever. You want to talk about identity being destroyed and not recognizing yourself in a mirror. I started selling drugs, hard drugs, to the worst people in the world, to Hell's Angels. I was just a kid. No idea what I was doing. I couldn't recognize myself in the mirror. I couldn't recognize my own soul when I looked at myself. Everything I wanted in life was destroyed. All my dreams, everything I became. And then I got busted by the DEA. I faced 25 to life and I was convicted on a suspended sentence. I worked with the DA for 2 years. And during that time, these were some of the worst times of my life. Everything I was supposed to be was destroyed. Sports, right? Nah. But I'm here to tell you something. Look at my life now. I'm 41 years old and I'm thriving. Had the best year of my life, and I've had the best year of my life every year for the last 15 years. There's not been a year that I can remember in the second half of my life where it wasn't the best year of my life. My point to you is this, is when one dream dies, when one identity dies, oftentimes people never pick up the next dream. But the truth is, one dream dying is the greatest foundation for the next one to be birthed. But you can't be comfortable. You can't stay stuck. You have to go out and sort of pursue the highest and best use, knowing that, okay, baseball didn't work out, so what's next? And here's what's great. If I would have become a Major League Baseball player and became the best baseball player out there, like that was my dream, it doesn't mean I was going to be happy. It doesn't mean I was going to have purpose. It doesn't mean I would have had a life of significance. You see, the greatest version of you, the one that I've realized that every person has the potential to pursue right now, is a version where your life has significance, has real power and meaning, has depth. And it's that impact of putting others first and committing to a life of service, which is where the greatest ROI in the world comes. It's the impact. It's the greatest stock values on earth are birthed inside this concept. And it's a stock value not just based on monetary gain, but on how happy you are inside. See, most people I know that have everything have nothing because they're miserable. It's really hard to get it all right in every domain. But when you start pursuing significance as the identity of you, everything changes. When you start living a life of mission, that's where purpose is birthed. This is when the greatest people in the world start coming around you. This is when the world starts rewarding you. Who would have thought all those years ago when my life was over and I should have died? I should be in prison or overdosed, one or the other, or killed. I'll never forget the time I had a guy put a gun right to my forehead And I could see bullets in the chamber, right to my forehead. Look at me now. If you guys are feeling lost, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like your life has no meaning or significance, if you feel like your identity has been ruined or that first dream was destroyed, keep going. Don't stop. I'm a living testimony to what you can do when you find something and you sink your teeth into it and you just don't stop. For me, it was entrepreneurship that was the gateway to that next dream, and that led me right to where I'm at today. It's the reason you all know me. Led me right to the business of impact. Power and transformation is what occupied every waking thought in my life. Now I give that back to the world, and it's what's made my life feel complete. It's what's made me feel like I have purpose. It's what's connected me to God through action. It's what's brought faith as the foundation beneath my soul is because I'm living in my highest and best use. And you can do it too. I love you guys. This message is for you. You know who you are. Run with this.